This is a really, really special wrestling place, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. WrestleMania 3 was here as well.
I was there at WrestleMania 3
were? Nice.
and WrestleMania 23.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, Hogan slamming Andre the Giant, and tonight I intend to have as big an impact as he did.
You know, I got to say that I'm hoping we can get the winds of change on Rico over here or something like that.
Please. Bullhammer, right
Sure,
there.
I mean, he's holding that title. I mean, it's a slightly different color to the one I had yesterday, but I mean, everyone's stealing my title at the moment. I don't know what the deal is.
I'm taking
What's up with
selfies.
that?
I mean,
why is everybody taking selfies with your belt?
traditionally, the thing used to be if you wanted to become the champion, you had to beat the champion. And, you know, I've not won many matches lately. I will accept that. But the title matches, I always win. If someone wants to take my title, they have to beat me. And that's why we're going to end up at WrestleMania in a big ladder match.
Okay. You want to go right now?
Oh, we can do. We can talk about it right now. I'm not much sleep, but I'm always ready, buddy. Have you got your wrestling license?
Oh, I'm ready. There's my manager.
Smackdown at Joe Louis Arena tonight. Wade Barrett on the card. He's in studio with us, kind enough to give us a couple of minutes here. And Wade, I got to ask you, because I was such a big wrestling fan growing up. Is that kind of where you were, and is this something you always wanted to do?
100%. I'm from England, as you can probably tell by the accent, but I grew up a huge wrestling fan. I discovered it in about 89, 90 with guys like Bret the Hitman Hart, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, and all those guys, and I just fell in love with it completely. And I carried on right away through the Attitude Era with The Rock and Stone Cold and those guys. And then eventually I got to the age of about 20, 21. I decided 100% this is what I want to do. So
see, now you won me over as soon as you said the British Bulldogs, because that's what Saturday mornings, that was it. The British Bulldogs, Matilda, the little dog, the pit. Oh yeah, I was all in. That is the best tag team ever. And I'll fight anybody who wants to tell me any different. And now I got a partner.
There we go.
I got a partner.
There we go. Now we're on the same side finally.
You know what? Tonight I could come run out and save you if anything happens.
I need someone to help me get my Intercontinental Championship back from R-Truth. He's the guy who's got it at the moment. So maybe you're my man for that.
I'm there.
Well, does he seem like a good bodyguard?
I think he'd be great, yeah. Perfect guy.
Ryan, this is the last day of the show.
So talk to me about tonight. When you guys, and I don't want to, it's entertainment. What is it? What is the process in, knowing what's going to happen or you know what I'm saying here, the process in what's going to happen tonight? How soon do you get that script?
Sometimes I'll find out 30 minutes before my music hits and I've got to walk out. I'll find out who I'm wrestling. I literally have no idea what's going on tonight. You're right. What we do is entertainment. And we have a creative team of writers and Hollywood producers and stuff like that come up with the storylines for our show. But when I find out who I'm wrestling, when I get out in that ring, that's when really the magic happens and we provide the entertainment to the crowd in the arena. But like I say, I've no idea what I'm doing tonight, but I'm sure it's going to be.
How heavily involved is Vince McMahon still? Because we don't see him very much anymore.
No, he's very, very behind the scenes. He's not on camera so much these days, but he's hands-on with everything. Nothing goes on the show without him giving it a yes or a no.
Really?
And he can change stuff. The reason why I find out 30 minutes before I go on who I'm wrestling is that we've had these producers and these writers coming up with this script for a few days. They'll show it Vince just before the show, and Vince will rip it up and start again.
No way.
Pretty much every time we go to TV, that happens every time. I don't know why he has these writers. Because he just whips it up and writes his own one and hands it out 30 minutes before the show starts. So that's kind of how it works with him, and that seems to be a formula that's winning for him.
Intercontinental Champion Wade, Bad News Barrett, join us right here live in studio. Who do you got tonight?
Well, we'll see. I mean, there could be one of about 7 people. They're all gunning for me. I'm the champion. I've got R-Truth, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Stardust, Luke Harper. I mean, there's a bunch of guys coming after me. So we'll find out at the Joe tonight.
Wade, when you look at that Intercontinental Championship and the guys who have worn it before you Randy Macho Man Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Rob, all these guys who have worn that belt, what do you... what goes through your mind when you put that belt on and you're introduced as the Intercontinental Champion? It's
massive. The history of that title is absolutely huge, and to be the Intercontinental Champion is something that makes me very proud. I love walking out with the title. Unfortunately, I can't at the moment due to the number of thieves in the locker room in WWE. But I'm now a 5-time Intercontinental Champion. I think there's only 3 other guys who've held that title more than me, so I'm one of the highest I'm the guy with one of the highest number of reigns in the history, and that's definitely something I'm very proud of.
Now, you mentioned Bret the Hitman Hart and Vince McMahon, and I'm trying to get Rico over here to understand the Montreal screw job.
Oh, wow. We need about 6 hours to go through that one.
So the Montreal, this thing really happened.
Yeah, you need to look that one up. Set aside some time in your life. You're going to need a lot of time.
I keep telling him about the Montreal screw job.
There's a
He's
DVD
like, what are you talking
out there.
about?
You can watch it on the WWE Network. It's a pretty insane story.
Wade, I've got problems, okay? I've got problems. I was at work last night, and I watched the Montreal screw job on YouTube again. I don't know why I'm so excited about this thing.
What is it again for the listeners?
Bret Hart was leaving WWE for WCW, and he was fighting in Montreal, and Vince McMahon was scared that he was going to take the title with him to WCW. So he had Earl Hebner, I think he was the referee, kind of, say he tapped out on the sharpshooter. Or not the sharpshooter, whatever.
It was the sharpshooter. It was his own move.
Yeah, it was his own move.
Shawn Michaels put on him to add to the humiliation. And Shawn and Bret at the time, they hated each other at that point too. So there was a lot of bad blood between them. So of all the people to get screwed over by for it to be Shawn Michaels, it was a real stab in the back for him.
How many days a year do you travel?
I'm probably on the road at least 270, 280 days a year.
That's insane.
Wow.
It's a very hard schedule.
It's one of those things, too, Wade, and we're talking to Wade Barrett, the Intercontinental Champion for the WWE. WWE is going to be live at Joe Louis Arena tonight for Smackdown. It's one of those things where, to me, growing up, who didn't want to be a wrestler, right? And now that you're actually a wrestler, is the life what you expected it to be? Is it different? Is it more challenging? Like, were you prepared to live the life of a wrestler and pretty much be on the road? I don't know if you have a family or not, but it can't be extremely easy to be a family man so much on the road.
It's probably the thing that I thought was 100% of the life is only about 1%, which is the going out on TV and performing. That's about 1% of what I do. The rest of it, the grind, is the travel, the days away from home. I don't have family. I haven't had time for that yet. Hopefully that's going to happen at some point in my future. But yeah, I always assumed that as soon as you got on TV, you got $1 million too, and that didn't happen. So that was a big disappointment. So we're still working on that one. But it's a great lifestyle, though. I love it. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I appreciate the fact that I'm in a very privileged position to be able to do what my childhood dream was. So it's something I'm very grateful for.
Bad News Barrett joining us right now. Do you ever worry about getting injured?
I do worry about it because it's happened several times in the past. I'm kind of covered in scars from surgery. I had a nasty shoulder injury at the beginning of 2014, which I came back from about 3 months ago. So, yeah, it's a constant worry in our industry. It's inevitable. There really isn't that much you can do about it. And that's why we always stress to people, don't try this at home. A lot of kids want to watch and kind of recreate the kind of moves we do, but it's never a good idea.
Come on. You were in the backyard like every other kid in the backyard.
I was. And
putting people in the figure four.
Wait, is there a guy, and I won't ask you to say his name, but is there a guy that you will get into the ring with and say, oh, man, he's maybe not as polished, or you're just worried about getting injured because that particular wrestler isn't as careful?
The 100% there is a guy like that, and I'll tell you his name. His name is Sheamus, and when I get in the ring with Sheamus, it gets very real very quickly.
Really?
He's an Irishman, I'm an Englishman, so there's going to be some bad blood anyway. We kind of came up through the ranks together. We know each other real well. We used to wrestle out in the UK and Ireland when we were younger, before WWE even came along and picked us up. And when we get in there, it gets very, very serious. It's the line between a real fight and the entertainment side gets blurred quite quickly.
Now, I know we're in Detroit here, but is there a city that you go to and, you get more juiced up for? It's kind of like, if the Lions are playing the Bears, they get a little bit more juiced up to play the Bears than maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is there a city, obviously Madison Square Garden would be an arena that I think you would get a little bit more juiced up to wrestle in?
Definitely. There's certain famous arenas around the world that we go to. For me personally, it's obviously always huge to go back to the UK. We have tours over there twice a year, so I love going over there to the UK and wrestling in front of my home crowd. And pretty much everywhere we go around the world, I'm always the bad guy. People hate me. They want to boo me. It completely flips when we go to the UK, and I'm the number one favorite. I'm the guy who's coming down slapping their hands and stuff like that. So it's very different for me. It's kind of, you got to wrestle a slightly different style when you're in that position too. But I love going back to the UK and performing.
We got Bad News Barrett joining us in the studio. And have you ever had one of the former wrestling guys come up to you and you're like, wow, I grew up watching you, and this is a pretty cool moment right now?
Yeah, it happens a ton of times. And, the Ultimate Warrior last year, I met him for the first time when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame. That was really cool. And they always say something, never meet your childhood heroes because they'll always disappoint you.
Oh, man.
And unfortunately, a lot of the times that is true.
Right.
But one guy I can say it's categorically not true for, and in fact, the complete opposite is true, is Bret the Hitman Hart. And he has just been the most class act I've ever met of any of my childhood heroes. And I met him, and from day one that I met him, he treated me as if I was his equal when he had this huge career and achieved a massive amount. And I was kind of the new guy in WWE. Treat me as his equal. He's had me over to his place for a grill before and a barbecue and stuff like that. Just a complete class act. Real nice guy.
Is it easy for you to be out in public? I can't imagine it's easy.
No, it's pretty easy. I mean, the crazy thing about wrestling fans is that we're not kind of Hollywood level or anything like that in terms of our recognition. So, there's a smaller percentage of people who will recognize you, but when they do recognize you, they're usually complete maniacs. And, they're bombarding you and they're flipping out and stuff like that. But it's always cool. It's not difficult traveling around and moving around and stuff like that.
And just so you know, we got a listener, Keith from Monroe, says, thanks to you, his 7-year-old likes to put the bull hammer on me in my back and yell, boom.
Good for her.
Well, Wade, I know you're extremely busy today. What's this day been like for you? I mean, you got media after media that you got to do. You get tiresome. I mean, what's the worst question somebody's ever asked you? Hopefully it wasn't in this interview.
The worst question I've ever been asked, it was probably being asked about, I get asked what's the craziest thing I've ever signed, and it always ends up as being a female's body part or something like that, and it's always kind of awkward answering that question. So I get that one every day pretty much.
Well, I think